Hello, journeymen, journeywomen. This is a hero's journey with Dr. D, the podcast. This podcast was designed to inspire, to encourage, to educate, and to motivate, helping you get beyond your first move and creating a better mindset today. Now, for an entertaining video version of this episode, along with many more at my YouTube series, go to a hero's journey with drd.com. Now, let's begin. I had a little technical difficulties, but I think we got it all right. We got it done. But today, dear, I'm doing a review. We're doing a review, the recap, and the Q&A. And the reviews of mass men wear. I'm doing a 3-part series about mass men wear. And the first part, which I did the video previously, and it was we talked about materialism. We talked about athleticism, and we talked about being a stoic. I explained in the video, talk about different faces of being a stoic. Person's pretty much different about how they're perceived, where they look a certain way, but it's purpose. And when I use my example in the military, the Sarge has to look a certain way because he needs to help his troops feel at ease, especially when they may die. So he need to make them feel as if he's on point, and I'm gonna get you home to your mama's apple pie, and everything's great, because they need to have some type of reassurance that everything's gonna be all right, even if it's not. But he cannot let all that out, as that comes with a lot of practice, and that's why he may make it look easy. But he realizes that while he's putting on a mask, he's kind of scared as well. But he has other troops, people behind him following him. And the same thing goes with team sports. I use Ray Lewis in the secondary in the defense as a linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens. He's pumping everybody else. So if a person was down, he said, "We can do this." And they followed because he was the example, and he showed, and his actions were contagious. It's contagious, so he drove them to victory, and because he had a lot of drive, and he had a certain mask on. And then I'd use clergy, and clergy lead a lot of people. Now, from the ones I explained, some clergy, they have a mask on, and they live a hypocritical lifestyle. However, the other clergy, they put a mask on to reassure the congregation that it's going to be all right. And then they unveil certain parts of themselves to let them know that I'm with you. However, but the mask is a part of their faith to a certain extent. And these are ones that are putting on for the good of the congregation, not the good of their reputation. It's a difference. The good of the congregation versus the good of your reputation. Reputation is all about you. It's not about them. I would say the same thing about the Army General or the Army Sergeant. It's not about his reputation. It's about his boys, his guys. He wanted to bring everybody home. And in a team, together, everyone achieving much. In football, one person don't win the game. The team wins the game. So somebody has to lead to victory and drive and encourage everybody else to go full throttle with tenacity and get it done. And the best way to do is by example. So I explained that's being stoic, and then I talk about being athletic. Well, a lot of people, we've all been raised up inundated with athletics because it makes a lot of money for a lot of people. A lot of money. But it teaches discipline and structure. However, the athlete sometimes it's going a little bit too far, because if a youth is not going pro, he's investing a whole bunch of energies into an item or activity, and he's thinking that he's going to be Michael Jordan or Magic Johnson. And that may not be the case, but the structure and the discipline will help them grow. I use sports are a tool to help bring out the inner you. And that's how you look at it. But when you're young, but you have no guidance, you're thinking that you're going to be that person. But that's why it takes good guidance to train. And when you grow, you start looking at different things. But you need guidance. This might kind of lead you in a good direction. And a lot of youth don't have it. A lot of men, we do not have that type of guidance. We think we're going to be one way, and we're going to become that way. And we think about external, but we're not thinking about internal. We don't know how to communicate effectively. We're taught just to suck it up, but it's not good to cry. It's good to cry to get the emotions out. Not good to cry all the time. But I would say the same thing about women. It's not good to cry all the time. But to actually observe what's going on inside and deal with it. Because it's going to come out in an inopportune time. In the wrong place, in the wrong time. Okay? So that's athletic. Talk about stoic. And talk about materialism. We are taught that you make the money, you get the women. You make the money, you can do anything you want to do. Because when money comes out, comes prestige, and people want to be around you. It's just that when you don't have no money, people don't want to be around you. It kind of tells you about the people that you're around. But we shouldn't. Money is important, and we need money to eat and to sleep and do things to that extent. But it shouldn't be the all in all. Little pieces of everything make us who we are, but the stuff inside is who we are. These different things that we mentioned are just tools. And I mentioned this in the video. Are the tools using us, or are we using the tools for the life that we live? All right, so those are 3 items I talked about in the video. You need to refresh it, go back to the video, and make some comments on it, please. And I will respond. I promise I will. Now, the new video that that's going to be up this week is we talk about masks that men wear, and the next 3 masks where we talk about sexuality, we talk about aggressiveness, and the Joker. How to lie stuff by being funny. Comedians do it all the time. Being aggressive. How to lie stuff by being a bully. You know, a lot of times the bullies are the ones that messed up the most. And then the first one, sexuality, where you know what that's about. You know, I get what I want. Manipulation, maneuvering, and just to get what you want and not think about the other individual. All right, and I'm bringing Q&As. Paul, do you have your link? You want to come in? But many of the masks you were describing can also be attributed to single moms. We are overwhelmed having to wear both feminine and masculine roles. But Paul said, my sons grew up without a dad, so they might not have learned all the things they would have. How does that affect their masculine mask? If they grew up without a dad, they use the men that they saw, they use the men that they're around, the men they saw in movies, the music that they listen to. They use that as their models. And they mix it all together because they didn't have a stationary model. They didn't have a pillar. And usually the man in the house is the pillar of the example. They eat the meat, spit out the bones, but they're the pillar. And why are they're the pillar? It's because they're the pillar because they're taking time. And even the ones who are constantly in the house and don't take time, they become the pillar example of how to ignore your family. Either way you like, example is they're the example. But if you don't have anybody there, then they're reaching for somebody or something. So Lil Wayne becomes their role model. Young Jeezy, whoever, the guys on the corner selling drugs. Boys are craving. Men crave for men. Well, you become a product of your environment, and people understand that you become what you're around and what you take in, and that's why I emphasize that, and I have to constantly work on being consistent on working on my internal, so it will affect my external. Because if I work on my internal is gonna be jacked up. For all the stuff we take in, it's not just food; it's stuff in ways. You know, it's the music, it's the news, it's negative people, it's all around us. However, but if we can decipher what we are receiving, then we can kick it out. It's about acknowledging what we're getting. You know, we all look at our junk, but if we're aware that's junk, then we can. Okay. Well, I don't see you yet, Paul. Yeah, I'm talking to Paula. Yeah, Paula says she's not coming on. But what I was saying is that let me cut you off until I see your picture in the back room. All right. So Paula, you said that your son he came home telling me he had learned a lot about the masks men wear, especially in their rules and expectations. Your treatment was all dependent on how you read the other masks. What did he look? Did he look at the video, or he just came when he came home from prison? He just told you this. Oh well, that's good. They learned something. But I don't know. All right. Yeah. That you. Yeah, you have to learn how to read people or die. That's important because you're always assuming something. Okay. He came home. When he came home from prison, he told you this. So what's on? Why is Okay, so if he knew how to read people there, or I know what happened. He came home. He tried to take you for granted. But he know how to survive. But he can't do right by a job. That's interesting. But when you back to the corner, that says a lot. It says a lot. You can go. You do what you want to do when you need to do it. And that's why I stress what you have said. I say that you have to. It said you have to pull off so he can grow, because you stay on and cuddle. And then cuddle, then he'll never grow. He'll be always dependent. He'll never get better. He'll never get better. I mean, he's learning some stuff now. All right. Okay, Phil. So you have you in the chat? Okay. Give me a question. Okay. You said you think he knows. Paula said you said you think he knows. You think he knows and agrees in his head. You just heard.
She said something about women wearing different masks than men, because that is what my question was going to be. What's the difference between the mask that women wear as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter? And then I had another question. What's the difference between the mask that men versus women wear? So that's two questions.
I'm not a man. Okay. Oh, the first question is what?
Okay, women wear different masks, right? And
right.
That was something that she said. So I think I kind of wanted to know what was the difference between a mask that a woman wears as a mother versus what she wears as a wife or daughter?
Well, Paul, you got to answer that.
Okay, so while she's about to answer that, can I ask another question?
Go ahead.
What's the difference between masks that men wear versus masks that women wear? And we'll let her handle the mother and the wife question.
Because I put my chat back up here. See, what's the difference between the men versus the women?
Yeah, what's the difference between the masks they wear? That's your question. And then Paula is going to answer the one about the moms versus the wife's mask.
Okay. All right. Break down when their kids are. Oh yeah. She said, my mask is different because they break down when the kids are around. It pulls on the nurture, intrinsic, the motherly quality. Even if the mother is aggressive and just right at you, like Paula's off the cuff. She doesn't hold punches, but it's a certain part that that the child gets that nobody else gets. Oh, Andy's here. Hi, mate. Yep, Australia's in the house. Hey, mate. All right, so
that's wonderful, but I want you to reread what Paula said because I kind of like lost you for a second.
What? Oh Lord. Now she said that they break down when the children are around. That's the issue. I said Paula has a hard shell for the most part, but generally the people with a hard shell have the softest heart, and they give a lot of themselves, but they are they're very open, and so by a person being open to a certain extent, they may come off very abrasive. But I think the thing about a person being open, if they said they're gonna slash your tires, at least they told you. At least they told you. And then the mom, he said, Paula said that I'll put this up here. She said that a wife's mask is more real. Can you see the whole text? The wife mask is more real than a mom's.
How so?
How so, Paul? See, Paula, you should have came on here and put an avatar. You should have got a doll too, and you could have spoke just like Phil.
Okay, Dr. D, that is not a doll.
A miniature Phil.
Bobbleheads.
Okay.
Okay. So what's her answer? Mom is more real than a wife. No, it's the other way. She's saying a wife mask is more real. But to me, I have an African American mother, and some of the other fellas, I'm sure that other ethnicities too can identify with a mother who pretty much didn't put up with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me, mom would be real. So what do you mean by real then with the wife's man?
Now, you said what do you mean by real? I don't know, ask another question. She'll come around. Did I answer your question?
You didn't answer your question about the mask between the men and the women. What's the difference?
It's a man's world. It's a man's world. But it wouldn't be nothing without a woman or a girl. That's the issue. It's a man's world for the most part. It's male-dominated society, and a lot of weight is put on, a lot of weight is put on men to take care of things, and and the expectations are different. Uh, but as time moves, as time moves, things change. The roles are the same, but they come with different layers now. And so the like the if you was in the 50s, then the expectations would be 50s, and you weren't black. I guess the expectation would be different. Um, the mother would be at home, or black or white. The mother would be home, and the father would be working. He worked 2 or 3 jobs, and he's taking care of business. And that's the mass that's been created for the most part. That he's expected to make sure everything is straight, but he wasn't expected really to communicate. So the expectations come different. So they didn't. So it was not expected to a greater amount. It wasn't expected a great deal for men to actually know who they were, to dig deep. But they need to make some money though. Whatever you dig, as long as you get that check home. yeah, you can get all deep up, but as long as you got a job and make money, all other stuff, society didn't expect that, and if man did not take care of his business, then he is frowned on amongst his peers.
Okay, so I guess that was the key word thing. You said society. Expectations that society put on people.
Right. And Paula said you need to read. All right. Yeah, society. Society for the most part.
Phil, to answer your question, moms have to do all the same crap dads have to do. We have to be stoic. We have to pretend the house ain't on fire when it is. You have to do all the same crap when you're a mom. But when you're a wife, no, you can be you and unload. You can show your husband a lot more of your frailties than you can ever show your kids. And I was one of those black moms, dude. Ask my kid. Dr. D's met him. I am not June Cleaver. And I use pancake turners as switches. I will still beat my children. So did that answer your question, Phil?
Yes, it does. I thank you. And I'm going to have her do a little dance for you.
Hey, I like the fiesta people, man. I was ready for some tacos.
No. She answered that question pretty good. I like the way she answered the question. She pretty much said that, I think the message was, even as a female, you still wear different masks. Masks are worn according to your role. It's a lot different.
Hey, gentlemen, gentlewomen, I do appreciate you come joining with. If you have enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe so you can be notified when a new episode is posted. So you can rave and review about this episode with your friends. And if you forget anything else from this episode, remember this, that every day you get a vertical, make it your goal in life to move forward and never move back. This was the Hero's Journey with Dr. D. Peace and blessings. And we're out.